from? My name is MG90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to your playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MG90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is a join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that. Well, Edgar Lungu and Miles Sampa's meeting, more dynamics surfacing. So the News Diggers newspaper reported this with this headline today. They say Miles Sampa, teams up with Lungu, meaning Miles Sampa teams up with Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and leaves PF in confusion as he fires parliamentary appointees. So if you remember, the number of people that he had appointed once he took over PF for the other faction. So he has fired those individuals as of yesterday's meeting with Edgar Lungu. So more people are wondering how that came about, but it seems to be obvious based on the following. So Miles Sampa appointed the lady you see on screen. So he captioned this a couple of minutes ago. He says the Honorable Kampamba Mlenga has become the very first ever female leader of opposition in Zambia in this political history. I am delighted to be part of this history in making. Congratulations, Honorable Mlenga, for accepting the appointment. I have confidence in your abilities and to handle the role effectively to the expectation of both PF party and the nation at large. Best wishes, Honorable, in your new role. So that's one of the appointments. After he fired those people that he had appointed, he appointed this new lady. She was minister during Edgar Lungu's time. I just can't remember the portfolio she was holding, but she was a minister in Edgar Lungu's cabinet at the time. And another lady that he's appointed, all these ladies knew. After he fired those people, he went further to say, this is still Miles Sampa posting this. He says, congratulations to the new PF MP of Lundazi, Honorable Brenda Nyirenda, for accepting to become the first female opposition chief whip in the history of Zambian politics. And then obviously he captioned the other stuff. So he has made these two new appointments in the new PF. And then all the ladies that you see on screen are very loyal to Edgar Chagwa Lungu. So that's why people will be suspecting to say these were Edgar Lungu's appointments according to based off that meeting. These ladies are very loyal to Edgar Lungu, unquestionably loyal. And if you are in doubt, this is what Kampamba Mlenga wrote in accepting that role. Just listen to what she says. This was posted by the PF. The page now, even the PF official page is posting Miles Sampa's moves. Previously, they used to shun him. It was just Edgar Lungu's camp. But after yesterday's meeting or the meeting that he had with Edgar Lungu, Miles Sampa seems to be a darling of this particular page. So you can see political games that are being played here. So PF says, Miles Sampa appoints Mlenga Kampamba as leader of opposition. Miles Sampa fires Robert Chabinga and Anton Mumba. Miles Sampa wrote, PF makes pretty much rewrite the same thing that Miles Sampa says, same. Makes the following appointment with immediate effect. Leader of opposition, Mlenga Kampamba, and PF chief whip, or opposition chief whip, Honorable Brenda Nyirenda, and interim deputy SG Hazel Kapeta, issued by Miles Sampa. So he is currently the PF SG and also PF president, according to that PF faction. As he has appointed an SG who's in an interim, he says Hazel Kapeta. There are those new appointments. So pretty much the Edgar Lungu PF camp, which runs the official page for the PF, seems to be have endorsed all these appointees. Now, this is the one that I was talking about. Kampamba Mlenga, when she was appointed, she wrote this. So you should be able to read between the lines. Just listen to this. She says, my sincere thanks for the consideration to the position of leader of opposition in parliament. I take this opportunity not for granted to my brother and friend,
Honorable Mouse Sampa, I am thankful you are the hero in this story, she writes. Immediately she says that, then she says this. Listen to this part. To my 60th Republican President, Edgar Chagwa, the confidence you continue to show in me is beyond measure. Now, how can you just listen to that statement? Meaning that's the power behind that appointment in reality. Because Edgar Lungu is not the one that appointed officially, at least it's Mouse Sampa, but she attaches that appointment to say to my 60th Republican President Edgar Chagwa, the confidence you continue to show in me is beyond measure, and the PF is our party, and we will continue through the roadmap of reconciliation. We shall make PF great again. So it seems like once Mao Samba made Edgar Lungu, these are the names that Edgar Lungu endorsed, because they've been endorsed from both camps, both the Mao Samba's camp and Edgar Lungu's camp. These two new ladies, they've been endorsed, as opposed to Mao Samba was not comfortable with the Brian Mundwile and the acceptance speeches that the ladies give. They are immediately thanking Edgar Lungu, more like he's the power behind all that. Anyway, we'll wait and see how that plays out. So this is Kampamba Mlenga doing Edgar Lungu's camp. The one that I was saying, she was a minister in his cabinet. So this was when she was accepting, presenting the swearing-in ceremony at State House at the time. So she shared that. Then we'll wait and see how that plays out. Now she's working with Mao Sampa. What is Simon Mwewa had this to say? He says Mao Sampa's PF is disintegrating because it has been infiltrated by Moors and opportunists. He needs a lot of financial muscle to hold his PF faction together. So Mwewa is simply insinuating Mao Sampa has failed to run his faction of the PF because he has no financial muscle and he needs the financial resources to be able to do that, and that's why it's failing. And he alleges to say it's been infiltrated by Moors, and I'm pretty sure he must be instigating at Munia Zulu, because Munia Zulu had this information before it even trended. If you remember from my previous broadcast, I said Munia Zulu was the time he just posted the Mao's Waya Sampa MBS, and he did not say anything. Like, and it went like for a day. Nothing happened. Then he did another post. Nothing happened. Then at 24 hours, that's when those pictures started trending. So it seems like Munia was in the know. He knew something. I know obviously the PF responded to Simon Mwewa immediately. So that's those are the two new appointees. That is Kampamba Mlenga on the left and the other lady, Brenda, on the right, the one in green. So those are appointed by Mao Sampa. But these two ladies are very loyal to Edgar Lungu, unquestionably loyal. You can't even doubt that. But anyway, we'll wait and see how that plays out. So the PF respond to Simon Moore. They say, if Simon Simpson building was compliant and not a death trap, Simon Moore would give credible statements that are not politically correct. So they're simply jabbing at Simon Moore to say, in PF, he was giving politically correct statements that are not in conflict with the government, so that they do not investigate the building, they are alleged. And now that the UPN is in government, he seems to be giving politically correct statements that are in line with the UPND, because he didn't want that building to be investigated. So pretty much he says he serves his own interest, according to that statement that the PF says in response to Simon Mwewa. So these are the people that Mao Sampa has fired. This was in the Daily Nation. Not this is today's paper anyway. So they say now Mao's axes Chabinga and Mumba those fires. As he expels the duo from his central committee, drops Chabinga Mumba as leader of opposition and chief whip effectively. Hours after visiting former President Edgar Chagwa, whom he had not met for 3 years now. So it's kind of obvious, even the Daily Nation can tell that those appointments and firing these two individuals, Edgar Lungu had a role to play, because the PF camp, Edgar Lungu's camp, has endorsed these appointments. Anyway, Munia Zulu had something to say right before we go to the next section of the news, in response to say the UPND's move of trying to work with people that were loyal to Edgar Lungu, and because there's been allegations to say even Mao Sampa's PF camp was funded by the UPND allegedly, and things are falling apart. And Munia Zulu had this to say in regard to that, to say they should just work with their own people and like working with people that were loyal to Edgar Lungu, because they will not ditch Edgar Lungu. Just listen to what he had to say.
It's very dangerous. Take care of your members. Let them recruit new members. Relying on sitting MPs that were loyal to the previous government and expecting them to be loyal to you is like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. It's my free advice. Take it or leave it. The resources that can go to mobilize numbers will be spent in court. Of what value? What benefit? Otherwise, for now, Mao's Walia Sampa is Mbappe. He will notify the speaker, and the speaker will notify we members who the new leaders of opposition are. Because the speaker cannot vacate her earlier decision. If she's to do that, she must equally bring back Brian Mundubile as leader of opposition. So, it is what it is, but this was something that was avoidable. It was avoidable. So I thought that I should reach out in good faith. Forget about opposition members. Forget. Deal with your members. Let them eat and let them mobilize. To invest in destabilizing the opposition is not going to work. It will just be a circus after circus. I don't see how Chabinga can be trusted to the very end when he has no following in parliament. I don't see how Anthony Mumba can be trusted to the far end when he's got no following. This should be a tough learning lesson, colleagues. Yes, these are politics. Yes, some people blame me for advising you, but I thought it wise that I should reach out. There is no need. Invest in your genuine members. Forget about us. Us we can come and eat with you, and then what? And then what? Invest in your real members. Forget about us in opposition. We can join you voluntarily, but not being sponsored to join UPND, no. This I'm telling you, even the next ones will betray you at the 11th hour. You don't know who they're talking to and at what time. Even in there, inside there are some people that are there because of positions. We know them. So Ninchta, Luenu. Good day.
So that's the advice Munia Zulu has for President Hakainde Hichilema and UPND, which is genuine anyway. If you're being realistic, it's very difficult to buy loyalty, because this thing will just be a waste of resources. But if he invests in the real UPND supporters that have bought into his vision and building the party, that will be effective. Otherwise, trying to get these independent members of parliament to move to the UPND side, he has just told you the point of view. Because if you remember, the Nkana MP, who's independent, Munia Zulu who's independent, JJ Banda who's independent, all these were in the PF. They only moved to the UP. I mean, they only moved to independence when they were not given the appointments within the party, but they won as independents. So their loyalty has not changed. They are still loyal to Edgar Chagwa Lungu. He has told you there. So the best thing is just invest with the other people. So pretty much all the independents that we have in that parliament, maybe just have, apart from the Nandolo MP, who's under Amdudu's party, the rest of them were PF. And they have not changed their allegiance. Yes, they were upset with Edgar Lungu, but you can see they've aligned, they've gone back to that. So he's just saying, if you give them money, they'll come and eat the money, but no, their loyalty will not change. Anyway, we move to the next line of news. So President Hakainde Hichilema has been making a number of statements. So this was posted by the Patriotic Front. He says that God chose me to be president at a very difficult time, Hakainde Hichilema signed it off. So this is an extract on the statements that the president has been making over time. So one of the statements that has been trending is the biblical statement that he made. And more from the extract say, this is to the PF getting extracts from the president's speeches that has been given recently. So Nilesa Ewansari, it's God who chose me, President Hakainde Hichilema. There was 7 years of plenty, and now it's going to be 7 years of hunger and lean. It's biblical. So that it's biblical statement came from this. Just listen to what the president had to say, where that's coming from.
The time of the children of Israel. Remember, 8 years of plenty? No, 7. 7 years of plenty and 7 years of what? You're not Christians. I thought you accused me of being a non-Christian. Me, I'm an elder, a serious elder. 7 years of plenty and 7 years of hunger, famine. It's in the Bible. How is it that today people can say, my colleagues in opposition, that HH has brought this hunger and the droughts? How, colleagues? Even if you think HH is a manipulator or whatever, he's a magician. Only God decides. Of course, climate change damage has caused these problems.
So that's a statement that they're extracting this from. Even from yesterday's ceremony that was in Monze, it seems like he had doubled down on that particular statement. So now what the PF is doing is now they're bringing back the statements that were in response to this. This was made by Garry Nkombo some time back in Parliament. I think this was still the time when Edgar Lungu was president. He was jabbing at Edgar Lungu to say he cannot be blaming droughts on climate change and God, which Nkombo did. So they simply used the same statement and they captioned it to say, vote for Garry Nkombo in 2026. Pretty much just trying to bring in that conflict between President Hakainde Hichilema and Garry Nkombo. Because if you remember, there was a time where even President Hakainde Hichilema had to respond to say, I've heard rumors, people are saying Nkombo is going to take over after HH, whether it's not in 2026 or afterwards. And then pretty much the president jumping at that to say that's not how it works in the UPND and stuff like that. So now the PF is doubling down on that, jabbing at pushing Garry Nkombo to be the candidate and using his videos in response to the president. So they used this particular video in response to what the president was saying, say, no, the situation in the nation of hunger and everything, the drought is as a result of God. And Garry Nkombo had this to say at the time to Edgar Lungu, but now they say it applies now to President Hakainde Hichilema.
Very decent thing is to own up and say, Takangi wa, we have failed. Because that is the truth. And there's no shame in admitting failure. When you start blaming God, in English it's called blasphemy. And this is where I started my debate from. That I found this presidential speech extremely blasphemous, sacrilegious, having no respect for sacred human beings. The very decent thing is to own up and say, Takangi wa, we have failed. Because that is the truth. And there's no shame in admitting failure. When you start blaming God, in English it's called blasphemy. And this is where I started my debate from. That I found this presidential speech extremely blasphemous, sacrilegious, having no respect for sacred human beings.
So that's a statement that Garry Nkombo had used. Now they're using it on President Hakainde Hichilema. And obviously the PF respond to say the truth is coming back to haunt them. And they laugh it off there in the comment section. So that's what's going on. And then obviously government sold maize. This was by Mtalinado Mango to pay back farmers who had supplied it. And Emmanuel Mwamba captioned it above there to say government to spend $200 million US to import 650 metric tons of maize. So the conflict there to say they sold the maize, they're buying it back at a higher price. So the mathematics there is not adding up. That's what Emmanuel Mwamba is trying to prove there. This was reported by the news Tigers. And that's Mouse Sampa with a new appointee, the Umulenga Kampamba. And that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. If new dynamics play out, you know I'm going to keep you posted. Catch you later. Have a good day.